What's up, everybody? This is Niato-san, and I am here to talk about a brand new game called Foamstars. Foamstars is from Square Enix, the new party shooter. This is a 4v4 party shooter that allows you to play with Foamstars. They are primarily competing in the Foam Smash tournaments, and they are using their own specific foam weapons at their disposal. Pretty interesting and pretty cool, don't you think? So, Foamstars, as I said before, is a 4v4 party shooter that is online and is specifically for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So you Sony people, oh, you got something on your hands right here. The first part of this video will primarily be giving generalizations of the game and my experience in the beta, as well as a good kind of character introduction to one of the characters that was also in the beta. So take a look out. I hope you enjoy, and honestly, this is going to be a game that really piques your eye, and hopefully you will enjoy more. As you can see with this gameplay, it's very fast-paced, very beautiful, very colorful. So I definitely say this is something to give a try to and really enjoy. Primarily for Foamstars, you're using foam as your way to build terrain, fight against your enemies, as well as move around. This is very much a movement-based game, so you will be using that foam to really kind of get through the terrain, get through the arena, and kind of do your best with fighting. With moving your foam, you will be using a surfboard. I know, right? A surfboard on foam. Such an interesting kind of detail, right? And with that, you kind of get a more chance to really flow more freely and have a little bit more fun. Remember, this is very much a team-based game, so you will be working with your team. Keep that in mind. Now, moving on, we're going to talk about our very first character, the Baristador. The Baristador is one of the more interesting characters in my opinion. He is very articulate, very fashionable, and very versatile in his combat. The Baristador is actually playing multiple roles in the game. He is not only a Foamstar, but he also runs Gentle and Generous, the coffee house that is based within the game. He's also integral to one of the other features of the game involving customization. We'll go into customization a little bit later, but right now we're going to go into more of a detail about the Baristador and their history of sorts. The Baristador is a long to mid to long range fighter, my bad, that primarily uses the coffee breaker, which is a continuous shot. So for our PlayStation people, if you're shooting, all you have to do is shoot and hold. You don't have to constantly press, and you kind of get it out there. So he uses the long hose type of shot, and he is also accompanied by his bubble beastie, Toraja. As you can see, Toraja is the little bubble beastie that is pouring him coffee. Like, isn't it so cute? Like, just so cute. And then, as you can see, the bubble beasties have a very integral part to a lot of the character's skills and abilities. We'll be going into the skills and abilities pretty soon, but to also give you a little something special, the Baristador is also an announcer for the game. When you win or when you lose, even if you're not playing the Baristador, you will be hearing voice lines from him. So you'll get a really good chance to kind of hear a little bit more, even if you don't see him. Also remember, the Baristador is a long to mid-range fighter. You might want to use him up close, but he shines from mid to long range, which means he gives a little bit more back to the team through his long range fighting and his skills. Now with his skills, you want to pay a lot of attention to how they move and how they properly function. You'll see them along the way and how things kind of naturally correlate with each other. So for his set of skills, he has 3. With his 3 skills, he has Super City Roast, Bitter Drip, and Latte Art Royale. Latte Art Royale is actually his ultimate, but we'll go into more detail about that one a little bit later. As for Super City Roast and Bitter Drip, they are his main skills and his most powerful tools. Super City Roast, when combined with Toraja, is actually a straight shot AoE blaster that works pretty well. He has two variations for it, on land and when using it in mid-air. When he uses it in mid-air, he drops down and he slams at the ground while also allowing Toraja to move forward. Now with Bitter Drip is a very special move. This is used to make a wall of foam that is actually very, very powerful. Latte Art Royale is his ultimate that is pretty much an orbital cannon. I know, right? An orbital cannon of milk. Now, looking at the video right here, we're going to be using not only Bitter Drip, but Super City Roast and seeing how they can be used with your team. Now, in our lobby, you have free open space to shoot as much foam as possible and use your abilities to your heart's content. So here, I'm played with another teammate, and I am able to use my abilities to my heart's content and just use them however I want. With that in mind, I can use Bitter Drip to create a wall that allows for more movement as well as blocking off attacks. Super City Roast will be more for clearing out lanes and giving a little bit more of movement to the entirety of the area, so to speak. So something to keep in mind is Foamstars is very much also movement. You will be moving around this map and you need to have as much foam on the floor as possible to move to the fastest ability. That means using your skills to create foam on the floor as well as creating walls to create vantage points, as we've said before, to really move throughout the entire map. Now, with moving throughout the entire map, the biggest deal that you will have to deal with is essentially having foam to slide around on. Now with sliding around, that's going to be your biggest deal. Movement is integral, but movement isn't also integral to just yourself. It is also integral to your teammates. Your teammates need to have an ability to move around as well. So as the Baristador, you can use your skills to not only create more openings, but to also create vantage points for your characters to move and your teammates to move with you. So as you can see here, I use Bitter Drip to create a wall that my teammate was able to scale and move over towards me. Now, a special thing to note is that with Latte Art Royale, it is not actually to destroy any of the foam created by you, nor by your teammates. So it's actually a free skill that doesn't mess up the terrain for you and actually allows you to fully damage your opponents. With that in mind, it's definitely best to use it as one of your greatest resorts. I definitely say with the combination of Super City Roast as well as Bitter Drip, you have movement as well as full area control. What I would probably do, and what I've done a lot of times and what you'll see in the video, is I use Super City Roast to create the pathways moving forward, and then Bitter Drip to also gain and create more vantage points for my teammates for movement as well as for shooting upon teams. I know, right? So with all that in mind, keep in constant thought process of working with your team. This is a team game. So with using your abilities, think of how it's best to help your team as well as best to help yourself. On my particular I can't talk. Wow. Particular set of skills, I am a very defensive player, so I would use Bitter Drip as a way of creating walls to not only protect my teammates but also give them a way to support them in the coming fights. With the bitter drip, it's honestly one of your most versatile tools. The bitter drip creates a very powerful wall that you can move on, as you can see in the video, as well as creating more space for you to move throughout the entire map, and so forth and so forth. It's actually a really good AoE kind of damage, because if they are trapped in the line, they will be hit by the entire force of bitter drip. Super City Roast, as I said, does have two variations, and with these variations, yes, you do clear out pathways, but you also create a new pathway. So in the beginning of a match, you can use Super City Roast as your way of creating a pathway for your team, as well as moving forward. As you can see here, I use it to create more of a pathway on the foam floor and go from there. Now, the Baristador is one of the main characters I've really took a chance to learn and use most effectively, but he's not the only character. As you can see, for the beta, we had 8 particular characters: Pennywise, Agito, Soa, Jet Justice, Melty, and so many other characters. Now, what I will say is, we didn't see every single character, but it doesn't mean that we won't have more. As you can see on the bottom row, there are 4 more characters that will be added to the main roster. Now, if we get more characters, I don't know, but this would be a good choice of like figuring out who do you want to play with and who do you want to really practice with. In my time in the beta, I primarily played the Baristador. However, I did take a chance to also play with Pennywise, Jet Justice, Agito, Soa. I didn't really get a chance to play many of the other characters, more so because I just chose characters I thought were visually appealing. But I do think it is best to get to know each and every single character. That way you know how to effectively fight against them as well as play with them. The Baristador, as I said, is a long to mid-range fighter, so using him effectively with other teammates who could be close range, mid-range, or even other long-range characters will make a difference. As I said before, many of times he is about creating openings as well as space for your team to go and fight others. With that in mind, I definitely say the Baristador is one of the most versatile characters that you can use in the entire game. For me, he is my balance of offense and defense. I am support the whole way. I've always been support in most games. My friends will tell you that. I will tell you that. That's just how it rolls. But with the way how support can be extremely offensive, as well as giving you the chance to really move forward and do your best for your team. So with this in mind, definitely let's keep a lookout for the playstyle that fits you as well as the character that fits you. For me, Baristador is all the way. Maybe Jet Justice here and there, but Baristador is going to be my #1 fave. I mean, just look at that outfit. Look at that outfit. Doesn't it just looks amazing? It just looks amazing, right? Okay, let's kind of go on and moving forward. Now, this is the in-game lobby and the start to the first match. What this is, and this will be your pretty much your main game mode, is Smash the Star. Smash the Star is actually your base game that you will be playing and really getting the hold of as the entirety of Foamstars. There is another mode which we will be going over, but let's showcase and let's look at the first mode, Smash the Star. Now, as you can see, this is how you start up the game and how they introduce the teams against each other. 4v4, as we said before, with each team being a different color as well as a different foam. Now, this part honestly is the most exhilarating part to watch. Them just sliding on their surfboards into the arena. Amazing. Now, Smash the Star, as I said before, is pretty much your full-on arena mode where you will be going and you have 7 spots. You need to take out your enemies 7 times to unlock the star player. With taking out 7 players and finding out who's the star player, you then realize that you have to take out the star player, hence the name Smash the Star. With Smash the Star, you then have the star player who will have increased health and a lot more durability than your other teammates, so you're going to have to keep an eye out when fighting them. They will have more health, of course, as I said before, but they will still be targeted because they are noted by their star emblem on the top of their head. With that in mind, you're going to have to work with your team to not only defend your star player, but to also attack the opposing star player to really make the effort and move forward going into the match. Protect your teams and attack the enemies as much as possible. With Baristador, I think this is a good balance, and you really find the best way to move forward. With the Baristador in my arsenal, I've learned to also move effectively, as well as go ahead and create the openings and the space to defend my teammates and attack the star players. Now, this is the other mode that we need to talk about. This one I didn't enjoy the most, but honestly it is very fun. What I call this was Chaos, also known as Happy Bath Survival. The way how Happy Bath Survival works, it is of course, another 4v4, but very different. There will be 2 characters on the inside of the ring and 2 characters on the outside. Very different, very unexpected, and honestly, when we first played this, we were confused as can be. Teammates, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. But the way how it works is it's 2 on the inside, 2 on the outside. With this, you have to knock out the opposing team that is on the inside. However, here's where things are very different. Both, and I do repeat, both enemy players on the inside of the arena have to be fully knocked out in order to win the round. There is a max of 3 rounds, which means best 2 out of 3, baby. That's the way how it rolls. With that, you have to make sure that you in the arena are also doing as much damage to them, as well as working effectively with your teammates on the outside of the ring. This is where we all got very confused because we didn't know exactly what was going on. However, when we got into the second round, we understood primarily how it works. However, I will say this mode was much trickier to navigate through. It is a much smaller arena, which means it's not as heavy as movement as the freedom of movement as Smash the Star, and that's kind of what confused us at first. And also, you really need a very cooperative team with you. I was playing with 2 other friends for this, and honestly, even though we're very good on our communication, we were still very confused by this, and we did do our best, I will say, but it was a very, very tricky kind of ordeal. Now, as you can see, it is very much chaos, and I mean straight chaos. Also, another very interesting thing is that there is sudden death, or overtime is what we probably call it. And with overtime, a circle starts to enclose upon the arena. This circle is honestly, think of Apex. Think of Apex and Battle Royales and how much damage it does to your character. It is insane. And also, that does apply to Smash the Star as well. So don't think that this does not show up in Smash the Star. With it though, what's very particular is that in this mode, your teammates as well as the enemies can come back if both players are not fully knocked out. If there's any time where they can come back, that means you are in the game and you are still fighting for your life. So continue to fight until the very end. With Happy Bath Survival, it is constantly you coming back, you fighting, you coming back and fighting until there's only you left standing with your teammate. In this case, it was pretty close. I will say that much. We somehow won, Don't know how, we were still confused, but it worked out. Primarily because the opposing team lost all their health and nobody could revive at the moment. And I was somehow still standing last. I know, right? What a shocker. But as you can see, again, you need foam on the floor, and with it being such a small arena, movement is very integral. So Happy Bad Survival is definitely where you need to work not only with your team, but your outside team members also have to work with you to create the space that you need to move around and fight effectively. When I say it was rough, man, that was a rough mode. Very rough. But enjoyed it nevertheless. Now, in-game lobby, when you go through either Smash the Star or in Happy Bad Survival, you have the choice of choosing whatever character you want and also using emotes and stickers to your availability. As you can see on the right, we have somebody doing a dance and another character on the left jumping and just enjoying themselves. They have a multitude of emotes and stickers at your wide radius of availability. I honestly enjoyed the dances that they had, that even for the bigger characters was so very interesting to watch. Now, when you go into the main fights of all of the modes, pay attention to just how the color looks. If you're in a lobby that has a pink one, that will be your color. If it is blue, that will be your color. There were, I think, maybe 4 or 5 particular colors that were used. I remember there being green, pink, blue, and purple for the lobby colors. So those were also your foam colors. But let's kind of also go into a little bit of detail about the Baristador now. Now, with the Baristador, as I said, he is a long to mid-range fighter. You are using him to create the pathways, as you see right here, to kind of move forward and do your best with fighting and going about creating pathways for your teammates. Some teammates use more close range fighting or have different styles of bubble blasters that complement their fighting and their abilities. With the Baristador, as I said, he is long range, so you can stay a little bit farther back and also continuously shoot and create the pathways needed for movement and for attack. As you can see, my teammates were actively using the foam created not only by his long pole style type of blaster, but also by his beast buddy Taraja, which again, Taraja is so precious. And also, make sure to use every skill at your availability. Sometimes using those skills honestly makes it so much easier not only to move, but also to fight. As you can see on the map, especially in this mode particular, you need to have as much of your phone down as possible. If your team overwhelms you, you need to start using Taraja's long hold style to actually create more pathways, as well as using Taraja to clear out the opposing enemy's foam to really create more pathways and give your teammates more vantage points. Now, this is something I've noticed with playing it. This was actually really interesting, and something that I was very happy to find out is that with the foam, you also recharge your gun. So if you're not shooting for long times and you're just on your proper foam, you will be going ahead and you'll be refilling your blaster, which is very integral to how not only just the Baristador plays, but to how everyone plays. But the Baristador has a very strong reload time, and if he is empty, that reload is even stronger. So stay in your foam as much as possible, shoot from long range, move as fast as possible, and continue to control the map. Now, let's look at more Smash the Star gameplay. This time we'll go into a little bit more overview of the Baristador skills and his abilities. So with the Baristador, as I said, you want to create pathways, openings, and really push out forward into the arena. Now, with there being different types of arenas, that means different kinds of movement that you can create. And this one is more of a flat space with an open, with a higher level of middle, but Baristador can immediately start to create the pathways needed by using his skill and his long nose type. The Taraja will actually be the most effective thing that you have. Also, to be honest, there's something that you all should really know, especially with the long nose type. With the long nose type, he is shooting at an arc a little bit more forward. So if there's any foam that is the opposing team has around you, you have to aim directly at it in order to pretty much get rid of it. Since his long range, he's primarily focusing and shooting a little bit farther out, and with his abilities, it's creating the space from close range on forward. Now, movement, as you can see, is heavy. So with him creating the space, it allows him to move forward, as well as give you the chance to kind of create and move about as best as possible. You want to use not only your abilities for movement, but of course attacking. As you can see, Super City Roast was an integral part of not only moving forward, but also taking out the enemy that was right in front of us. The same thing can be said for here and even moving forward. Again, Baristador is not only attack, he's also defense. Do not be afraid to get into someone's face, but also don't be afraid to back off and regroup with your teammates. You want to not be solo. Smash the star, anyone can get overwhelmed very easily. Many times in this video, I got caught slipping and someone took me out lickety split. So you definitely want to be around your teammates, but also make sure that you're willing and able to fight on your own. Here, where we use Latte Art Royale, it was the main way of not only attacking and really putting pressure on the enemy team, but also debilitating and really controlling the space around the enemy team. As you saw earlier, we used it to not only attack the star player, but also to attack pretty much everybody on the team. Use Latte Art Royale for a big blast and continuously damage them and control the entire part of the fight.
And I must say,
honestly, you're going to enjoy it. Now, going back into another match, this one is also the same kind of arena, but remember, pay attention to the fact of you're going to use the long hold style as a way to control your map. As you saw there, I used the aerial version of Super City Roast, where he slams down and creates a forward pathway and then control a little bit more. Remember, pay attention to the color of your foam. With your foam, you're going to really have to move forward and control the arena. If you see that you have a lot of opposing teammates, opposing teams foam in front of you, you definitely want to go ahead and make sure that you control the arena. Their foam debilitates you, makes you slow, and you will continuously take damage as long as it's on you and around you. As you can see, your health not only lowers while in theirs, but your health and your fuel will regenerate in your own. So keep that in mind when you go ahead and you play Foamstars. Again, you're going to be using your long nose type as the Baristador to control the map. That means if someone decides to really get in your face or someone is caught slipping, use the long nose style and use every skill at your advantage to really go ahead and take them out. Oh, also, I forgot. So, as you can see, we surf into the opposing team and teammates to not only save them, but to also take out your teammates. So, if you are caught slipping or if you're going a little too slow with your movement, you will be caught, you will be taken out, unless you are very quick to just get on that surfboard and get to moving. We did have a really weird issue during the beta where we couldn't surf properly, and it honestly was very hard. Honestly, all we could do was actually just support our team while the one person on our team was actually able to surf. But that gave me the time to really learn how to properly play the Baristador from range as much as possible, because again, you still don't want to get taken out. Remember, 7 times and then your star character is revealed. You do not want your star character revealed too early, because then it might be you and you might get tackled very quickly. So, keeping that in mind, remember, stay in your phone, control the arena, fight to your heart's content, and foam up everybody while creating space as Baristador. The Baristador, honestly, the best way for me and how I've learned how to use him, use a combination of all your skills, and don't be afraid to use your skills. If you slack off on your skills, you will literally lose out on more damage, you will lose out on more support, and you will lose out on the best way to keep your team moving forward. Again, movement is key. I know I've said it too many times already, but I have to stress it out. Also, when you win or lose, you have the ability to check out the player awards as well as cheer on the MVP. With the cheering on the MVP is very much using stickers as well as throwing some hearts when you use the directional buttons, and kind of like cheering on your teammates just for their good work. Because honestly, you have good teammates, and then sometimes you just have bad teammates that are just new. Either way, cheer them on, make sure they feel great about their work, and then let them go ahead and enjoy the gameplay. You definitely want it, and you can definitely see it later. Also, at the end, when you decide to go to the end screen, you can see the experiences you want, as well as you can set your score sheet for the amount of takeouts you've had, as well as movement and things like that. So, let's go into a final look at some more gameplay match and see how this really goes down with teams. Now, with the Baristador, the team does kind of matter and it doesn't. In this case, we're going to be on a different map, and we're going to show you how moving out on this map with a different kind of team comp really works. Another one of my teammates was very much a close range to mid-range fighter, so I made the very strong opportunity to create moving pathways for them moving forward, and honestly stay in the back with another one of the teammates to create even more heavier pathways. You have to be very careful about not only getting caught by, unfortunately, the opposing team, but also kind of messing up yourself. There, I got caught slipping, unfortunately, and yeah, I got double teamed super quick. But something to note, when you decide to shoot with the Baristador, aim for the person. If you don't aim for the person, unfortunately, you might create new openings and unfortunately mess up the way of how you're going to move. Remember, when you are in an opposing team's phone, you move slower, you don't move effectively, and it's going to be a little bit harder for you to kind of go forward. So keep that in mind, and keep that in place for when you are also taking out opposing team's phone. Now, even though yes, you are debilitated on an opposing team's phone, you can still move on it and surf on it to a degree to save your teammates. This is going to be very important, especially in those moments where you're going to get targeted and you're going to get fought on. Now here, I decided to use but bitter drip. I'm sorry, I can't even talk. I decided to use bitter drip as a way to block off the opposing team, as well as create more high attuned space to where they could move, and I had more of the high ground to shoot at them and move forward. Unfortunately, that still didn't work out the best, so I got eliminated, but it created a little bit more space for my teammates to go ahead and fight them and then move forward. Now remember, the tide of battle is very quick. This is a very fast-paced game, so even though yes, you might get taken out a couple of times, doesn't mean that your teammates are not putting the pressure on the opponents and really taking them out. With this, not only did I use bitter drip as a way to really attack, but I used my long-range style of fighting to support them and also kind of knock out some people here and there. Now, with this map in particular, you can be knocked out of bounds, so it's actually very imperative that you watch for any of opportunity where you could be knocked out by the opposing team.
And I must say,
it's not a great feeling. Now, This is the part where you go and you have a little bit more of an interaction with the Baristador. The Baristador is also in charge of customization. Customization not only includes banners, but also character emotes, character skins, your bubble blaster skins, your different styles for your bubble beasties, as well as for the boards that you ride. They will have many, and I do mean many, of different kinds of customizations. Of course, for a beta, it wasn't a lot, but from what we did see, it was a good amount. They also have different kind of stickers. You can customize the placements of where you want your emotes and your stickers. They have it as a circle wheel, so once you activate your circle wheel, you can then put it on those particular places, and they have different multitudes of emotes that you can use to show off your personality in the lobbies, as well as when you're going about and doing some bunch stuff. Remember, this will be customization as a whole, and this is how it's going to work together. Now, character customization will be a little bit differently, because you can customize not only the color of your blasters, as well as customize the different kind of boards you want. You have different and complete opportunities to really make your character shine in your own way. I prefer to use the Baristador's board. Honestly, that black and gold was just mwah, chef's kiss, baby. But with different characters, of course, you have different kind of color combinations and things like that. In the beta, those customizations were a bit limited, but from what we did see in terms of customization, it was very different. And maybe they'll be changing things up a little bit here and there, so you'll get more of a chance to really see in the full game how vast customization will be. Customization was not only with the skins, of course, but with the styles. You also get kind of like back stickers, if I remember correctly, that you can go ahead and shine on when you're in battle or in your lobbies. With the styles for the bubble beasties, it's honestly kind of very interesting. We didn't really get to see any other kind of styles for them, but I do want to see how they'll look in the future and how things will kind of move forward. Do not forget, each customization is very different in terms of color, and there might be even more kind of like fancier costumes or fancier colors for each character. You'll really just have to see and just kind of go from there. But also, in terms of character customization, from banner customization and emo customization, I think you'll have a really good time, and you'll have a really good choice of figuring out what is more of your knock in terms of showing off and kind of like making yourself feels great in the game. For me, I didn't really mess around with customization very much. The most I did with customization was maybe change like some gun skins. For Baristador, I did change his outfit from the regular blue and purple to the gray and red, if y'all remember that correctly. It was primarily red, but you know, colors. So, going back to the game, customization, of course, is going to be a very way of like just setting yourself apart as a whole. And there will be different customizations for each person and each character. As you can see, there are 8 characters, so their color customizations will probably be very vast. I don't know exactly how many kind of colors there will be, but hey, it is what it is. Also with the styles, this is for the styles for your beasts, your bubble beasties, so pay attention in case there's something very different. Maybe they'll have different kind of costumes, maybe even get to use another character's bubble beastie. I have no idea. We didn't really get a chance to see that, but we'll kind of like figure it out when the full game comes. Now, I will say that the colors for some of these skins were honestly amazing. For Jet Justice and for the Baristador, the colors for the customization were just great. Now, also for customization, I will remind you this: you can do this all from your lobby. And so when you come into the online lobby and where you're waiting, of course, as where you saw in the beginning of here as well as now, you can immediately go and you can check on to the right side of the lobby, and it will be where the Baristador will be sitting. Since I'm playing the Baristador, the way how it kind of worked was it was a hologram at the customization station. But yeah, also while you're in the lobby, you get to pull up the city map and you can see the different kind of modes and sections that you can use. As you can see, there was only the verses and the customization in the beta, but it is what it is. Also, a really cool feature, especially for Sony people, we did have a social section, so we can use that to not only send invites to our friends, but also look at possibly recent players and things like that. Maybe they'll kind of work that a little bit more into the game. Who knows? Definitely see, keep a lookout, because it's going to be very vast, very fun, and honestly, I would say play it with your friends, you guys. Just play with your friends. It's going to be so amazing. Just amazing. So now this is pretty much the end of our video. I know I repeated myself a lot for a certain amount of things, but this game is going to be amazing. With the Baristador, I see a lot of people learning to pick on a long range style and figure out what best suits them, along with figuring out, is the Baristador what they want. For me, Baristador is hands down what I need. He is my mix of putting on pressure, allowing my teammates to move forward while allowing me to watch how movement goes, because I'm a very strategic player, and it gives me the opportunity to really go ahead and give a little bit of some confusion on the battlefield. So again, do not forget to use Baristador's skills. His skills are his most integral part to combat. Remember, with Bitter Drip, you do have the ability to use it from any range whatsoever, as long as it's in view. It has a pretty good range on it, and then it is still the wall, so you still get a good chance to use it as much as possible. Do not be afraid to move it either in front of you, around you, and remember, if you hold it, that is where it's going to be the most effective. I really never just blasted it off. I pretty much held it and then just went from there. Don't forget that you can also use Super City Roast, not only on land but also landing down from mid-air. It's honestly one of the best ways to use it, and you can do it actually after you've been saved by your teammates, so it gives you kind of a good chance to create it right after being almost knocked out. So another little part to kind of keep in mind is you definitely want to be very aware of your teammates, their positioning as much as possible. Myself, I was watching almost all of the battlefield at all times. I am that kind of strategic defensive player to where I keep things on my mind and I keep my pockets very close, if you don't mind me saying. But yeah, guys, go ahead and give Foamstars a try when it comes out. We don't know its expected date yet, but from the way how things work, maybe we'll see a full release pretty soon. That beta was pretty close and pretty fair open. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I loved the teammates that I had, and thank you very much to Boom Power Surprise and Hey Tony for playing the Foamstars beta with me. It was actually a really good pleasure. I really enjoyed having them play it along with me, because honestly, I was gonna play it even if I didn't have them, but having them to play it with me, it really gave more sustenance to it, and we really got hooked into it. So again, I'd like to give a very big special shout out to both Boom Power Surprise as well as Hey Tony for their amazing contribution, not only to this content but also to giving me the courage to really put out this video. But yeah, so you guys remember, movement is key. Pay attention to the battlefield, create opening and spacing for your teammates with the Baristador, and have a good fun time. Honestly, just even if you don't really play the Baristador, Play whoever you want with whatever kind of style and fun you want to. This is a party game, so don't take it too seriously. If you want to have fun, you're going to have a good time. And for you Sony people, this is going to be something to keep an eye out on. For PlayStation 4 players and for PlayStation 5 players, I honestly believe this will be one of those games that even if you just want to do something dumb for a night, you're going to enjoy it because you're going to get on with friends, enjoy the aesthetics of the game, you're going to enjoy the color from this, and you're going to enjoy the music. The music was an absolute banger. Whoever from Square Enix did this music, oh gosh, you are amazing. But again, you guys, I thank you oh so much for watching this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and I really do hope that you will enjoy this video, and I hope you will get to enjoy more content from me, because as soon as full game release, I will be putting out more character videos and more explanations. Until then, you guys, have a good old time, and remember, enjoy yourselves on Foamstars on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Bye, you guys.